Today, Nally Elementary would like to recognize all of our May Leaders of the Month. We are so proud of these students for their outstanding leadership here at Nally, in the classroom, on the playground, in the lunchroom, and always displaying the 7 habits. Today, I will recognize each student in each grade level and tell you a little something about them. Okay, we're going to start off in kindergarten with Mrs. Craig's class. We have Brooklyn Rector. Brooklyn is being recognized for being proactive and beginning with the end in mind. Mrs. Craig said Brooklyn is a model citizen in every way. She will most definitely be a welcome member to her first grade classroom. Keep reaching for the stars, honey. We will miss you. In Mrs. Guerreri's room, we have Emma Fusco. Emma is being recognized for synergizing. Emma often is seen working with many of her friends, working together on projects and creations. She is definitely synergizes every day. We also have Nikola Jovanovic, who puts first things first. Nikola is always being proactive. He comes in every morning and puts first things first by completing his morning task before moving to a self-directed task. In Miss Gabo's room, we have Amelia Boyd. Amelia begins with the end in mind. Amelia puts forth her best effort on everything she does. Keep it up, Amelia. We also have Ezra Truitt in Miss Gabo's class, who thinks win-win. Ezra is a very supportive and helpful friend to all in kindergarten. In Mrs. Parton's room, we have Tatum Tesmer. Tatum begins with the end in mind. Tatum is always doing her best. She gets her work done neatly and correctly. She is a true role model in this area. Keep up the great work, Tatum. We also have Aurora Longfellow. Aurora is working so hard in reading. She is making connections and doing well in blending sounds together. Mrs. Parton said, I am so proud of how far she has come. Keep working, Aurora. In Mrs. Zukowski's room, we have Joshua Patterson. Joshua is proactive. Joshua is so enthusiastic about learning. He proactively completes his work, always using his best effort. Joshua's love for learning makes our classroom a better place. And finally, we have Jackson Gatto in Mrs. Zukowski's room. Jackson synergizes. Jackson is a kind friend with a great imagination. He synergizes during buddy work time and is a kind friend to all. Great job, Jackson. Okay, moving on to first grade. Our first student is in Mrs. Bowser's room, and it is Gweny Styles. Gweny is being recognized for all 7 habits. Gweny always puts forth her best effort and has worked hard to improve her handwriting this year. She synergizes and shows respect towards all of her classmates. Also in Mrs. Bowser's room, we have Levi Hall, who begins with the end in mind. Levi sets realistic academic goals for himself, and he works hard to achieve these goals in phonics, math, and reading. Way to go, Levi. In Mrs. Carmichael's room, we have Lola Hubbard, who is proactive. Lola is being recognized for being proactive. She is a proactive leader with a smile on her face each morning. She works hard and she loves to help. Thank you, Lola. In Mrs. Fiesler's room, we have Tommy Friebel, who begins with the end in mind. Tommy has become the ultimate goal setter by working towards his personal goals of showing self-control, making a plan, and celebrating his success. Way to go, Tommy. We also have Abby Lansing in Mrs. Fiesler's room, who is proactive. Abby has been working hard towards her goal of being a top quality reader by putting forth effort with Mrs. Beard all year long. Mrs. Fiesler said, I am so proud of her effort and never giving up. In Mrs. Rector's room, we have Thea Merchant, who puts first things first. Thea has worked really hard in first grade to improve her reading strategies. Mrs. Rector said, you have the skills to be successful in second grade. We are all so proud of you. Also, we have Wilson Cease in Mrs. Rector's room, who is proactive. Wilson had perfect attendance until one day last week. That is so hard to do. Congratulations on being at school 142 days without an absence. Being at school is so important. Way to go, Wilson. Okay, now let's recognize our second grade leaders of the month. Our first student is in Mrs. Grandin's room. It is Maverick Salutes. Mrs. Grandin is recognizing Maverick for being proactive and putting first things first. She said, wow, Maverick has really worked hard to put first things first and make proactive choices. Keep moving forward and trying your best, and you'll be a superstar in third grade. Also in Mrs. Grandin's room, we have Jagger Salutes. who begins with the end in mind. Mrs. Grandin said Jagger is my first to raise his hand to take part in class. She said, I don't think I have ever seen someone work so hard to pass his time test. He really begins with the end in mind. Thanks, Jagger. We also have Weston Smith, who begins with the end in mind. Weston is really moving forward in second grade. He has been reading up a storm. Mrs. Grandin said, I see his reading log almost every day. He is also flying through his time test. Way to go, Weston. In Mrs. Rankin's room, we have Roland Zapp, who synergizes. Roland has been a great friend to others all school year. He is always willing to synergize with others at any time. He has a big heart and wears his heart on his sleeve. Also in Mrs. Rankin's room, we have Jeffrey Alt, who puts first things first. Jeffrey was new to Nolly this year. He is beginning to show maturity and willingness to put first things first. He has learned to work first, then play. Keep trying your best, Jeff. We're so glad you're here. Great job. In Mrs. Slimak's room, we have Wyatt Shriner, who is proactive. Wyatt puts forth great effort and turns in top quality work. Mrs. Slimak said he comes to class prepared and ready to learn. Watch out, third grade teachers. You're going to love Wyatt. Also, we have Jalen Price. Jalen synergizes. Jalen is kind and tender-hearted. She truly cares about others and makes sure that no one feels left out. Thank you for synergizing, Jalen. In Mrs. Van Dorsten's room, we have Alex York, who is proactive. Alex has been proactive this last quarter by doing her homework and trying harder in class. Keep up the awesome work, Alex. We also have Ella Bailey, who is proactive. Ella is doing a great job paying attention in class and making good progress in second grade. Keep it up, Ella. All right, moving on to third grade students. Our first leader of the month in Mrs. Braley's room is Gavin Patterson. Gavin is proactive. Gavin was chosen by the class for being proactive. Students said Gavin is kind, helpful, and proactive. He is responsible because he does his work and turns in all of his homework. Way to go, Gavin. Also in Mrs. Braley's room, we have Sophia Edsall, who puts first things first. Sophia was also chosen by the class. Students said that Sophia is a leader by walking in the classroom and putting first things first. She listens to the teacher, works hard, and is very kind to friends. Way to be a Nolly leader, Sophia. In Mrs. Esterly's room, we have Mason Kaley, who is proactive. Mason was chosen by his classmates for being proactive. They said that Mason always does the right thing even when there is no teachers around. And when he's wrong, he admits it. Great job, Mason. We also have Isabelle Buck. Isabelle was chosen by her classmates for being able to sharpen the saw. Her class said she knows how to build relationships by laughing with people and is always being helpful. Great job, Isabelle. In Mrs. Stasnis's room, it is Leah Finley. Leah begins with the end in mind and thinks win-win. Leah was chosen by our class this month because she is very kind, hardworking, and willing to help other students. Leah loves a challenge and learning anything new. She's done a great job in third grade this year. Way to go, Leah. We also have Nehemiah Rankin, who thinks win-win and puts first things first. Nehemiah was chosen by our class this month as a leader because they have noticed him being a good friend to everyone. And he does his work first and then he has fun. Nehemiah definitely shows dedication to his wrestling as well and is a hard worker. In Mr. Straub's room, we have Gabe White. Gabe begins with the end in mind. Mr. Straub said since starting at Nolly this fall, Gabe has had a lot of things to learn about how routines are done. He has learned to get his assignments completed in a timely fashion, so he is able to take some time to sharpen the saw. Way to go, Gabe. We're so glad you're here. We also have Braden Wilbourne, who synergizes. Braden has taken on a leadership role in Mr. Straub's class to help clean up at the end of the day. After seeing him start cleaning, others have also joined in to help keep our room a better place to learn. Thank you, Braden, for contributing positively to our school. And finally, here are our fourth grade leaders. First up is Ryan Buxar, who was nominated by Mrs. Gardner and Miss Behrens, who thinks win-win. Ryan is a kind, hardworking leader in our class. His positive attitude has helped him to be very successful in fourth grade, and we know the fifth grade teachers are going to love him. Also, from Mrs. Gardner is Darla Knowles. Darla begins with the end in mind. Mrs. Gardner said every Sunday this school year, Darla has practiced the spelling words for the upcoming week. This year, she has achieved 100% on almost every single spelling pretest. By beginning with the end in mind, she has earned an A in spelling on every report card. She is a role model for her hard work. Good job, Darla. In Mrs. Matson's room, we have Braden Keel, who is proactive. Braden comes to school prepared and ready to learn. He follows the 7 habits and has become a good leader. Keep it up, Braden. In Mrs. Oakes' room, we have Logan Allen, who seeks first to understand. Mrs. Oakes said Logan listens to other people's feelings and ideas. He tries to see things from their points of view. Logan is confident in his ideas, but he listens without interrupting too. Way to be a leader. Also from Mrs. Oakes' room, we have Olivia Becker, who thinks win-win. Olivia wants everyone to be successful. She doesn't put others down to get what she wants. She does nice things to others, and Olivia is happy when others are happy. She is a treasure for sure. In Mrs. Toast's room, we have Lily Rafferty, who seeks first to understand. Lily is a great listener. She is quiet and works hard to get her work done well, and she does it on time. Great job, Lily. We also have Claire Benner, who thinks win-win in Mrs. Toast's room. Claire is always looking out for her classmates. This is a wonderful quality to have because it not only makes others happy, but it makes Claire feel good about herself. Nice job, Claire. Congratulations to all of the Nolly Leaders of the Month. The entire staff here at Nolly is so proud of you. Please keep up the great work and your outstanding leadership. Way to go.